Ay, good.
Okay sa face. Na pogi.
Cheers with love. Life 40,000, 30,000, 80,000.
Paging na ba ito? Kala ko inaayos ito eh. Ganyan ba ito?
Okay na. Narinig.
Sound check. Let's test the audio. Cable audio not on yet. Don't know if I'm on yet, but the game is definitely on. Get our bearings here. We are watching the BLUFF Masters 1 million guaranteed tourney. That's right, it's a million guaranteed. The buy-in was 3,500. And we had a total of 672 entries. We started December 13, 5 days ago, and it's down to these final 9. Get to their names in a bit. Total prize pool. Remember, 1 million guaranteed? Well, we smashed that. We got 2.1 million in the prize pool. That's double the guarantee and then some. Got the final table ongoing here. Give you update on chip values. You can see great big fat denominations on them. So even if you don't know the colors, it's clear enough that you can read. Purple chips are 25K and the not so purple chips are 10K. Interesting how they are kind of close to being the same color. Normally you don't see chips of similar color denominations on the same final table. Try to catch up with the action. First, let me run down who the final 9 are. I've got the payouts in front of me, but here is the sheet with the seating arrangements. Remember, seat 1 is left of the dealer. You're looking at seat 5 right across the dealer. That's left of your screen right now. 5, 6, 7. Those are the seats you're looking at. All right, let's recap. When we get a view, seat 1, there we go. That seat 1 is Marlon Laksamana. Came to the final table with 1.27 million chips. 2.9 million for the man next to him, Raymond. And then seat 3, you barely see his elbow, but you get a look at him when the cameras swing around. That's BJ Perez, who has 2.855 million starting this final table. Get you up to speed with where we are with the blinds. But as we move along, you're looking at seat 4. Well, we're way over at the other side now. That's seat 8 and 9, I guess we're looking at. That was Gary in seat 8 and Rain in seat 9. Rain your Galgas, of course, I think the Masters Team Pro. Back to Raymond in seat 1. Sorry, Raymond in seat 2. Marlon's already folded. Raymond sitting on Queen 10, not facing any action yet.
160.
Let me get rid of my video screen. There we go. Blinds are 40K, 80K with an 80K DB ante. So no regular antes here. Makes the game faster. Raymond is open to 160K. That's Philip Baidare in seat 5. Seat 6 is Edgar. And Ryan Messina in seat 7. There with the Gap shirt. Mind the Gap. He was chip leaders coming into the final table. Yeah, with 3.9 million. He passes King Jack for Gary. Gary the second or Gary 11. So King Jack makes the call, defending his big blind from the mini race. Ace is a cause of concern, but Gary's hit the middle pair. Raymond's got himself a gut shot and a range that's ace heavy. See what he does here. It's check to him and continuation bet on the way. It's like it's 110,000. That's 425k chips and a 10k chip. We'll get used to these colors as we go along. But when you see the flop shot, you can see the denoms are clearly visible.
Check round.
So we know Raymond has bet 110, and I assume there's been a call and a 10 on the turn. Actually, we missed some of the action. I guess it went check, check, and the river's a king. That gives Raymond a one-card flush forward to the board, which is too bad because it would have been two pair, but there was a one-card straight on the board anyway. So one way or the other, Gary was probably not going to call too much on this river if he's going to call at all. Raymond's got the nuts here with the ace and king showing there. Makes a big bet. 450, about 3/4. And there's no time to be a hero if you're Gary. Only sitting on 1.2 million. He is out chipped. And really, the only move here is hand can only turn into a bluff if he shoves, but he's bluffing into the nuts if he chooses to do so. So he's out of the hand. Raymond takes down this pot, 390k in it, as he tries to build on his stack. Came in a very close third to the chip lead. And by very close, I mean just a 10,000 chip difference between Philip and Raymond as we started this final table. I'll get my Facebook monitor up, see if there's any comments, but for now, just looking at the screen and getting the other gadgets in order as we move to the next hand. The button should have moved to seat 8 or seat 9. It must have been on way the other side of the table as Marlon was under the gun and already folded. BJ's got a suited connector. Small one. You can now see J-Pilia. How can you not see J-Pilia in the bright yellow shirt? And those shades are hypnotic too. All right, Edgar Asian. Everyone's got a pretty decent stack, 20 BBs and up, as we are only 40k, 80k. So we are in for a long evening, and BJ Paris is gonna try to grind it out. Raising from early with a 5-6 suited. Gary, did he really just quickly fold king 10 of clubs? And no callers for BJ Perez. Let's have a look at the payout. Remember, 1 million guaranteed, but we raised 2.1 here in this event, which makes the first place winner a half-millionaire easily. Gonna come off a 505,000 peso payday for the first placer. Final table of 9. I believe we're only 8-handed at the final table. Let me double check this. No, we are 9-handed. There we go. 9th place, guaranteed a payout of 32,500 from a buy-in of 3,500.
160 raise.
Back to the action. Hey, BJ likes 5-6 of clubs. He's gonna like 10-8 of hearts. For the very few who might know, I nicknamed this hand the Manesh. And for those of you who know why, tap yourselves in the back. All the way to the blinds. King, queen off. Could be good for a little defense. It's been raised the minimum to 160K from UTG +1, almost all the way round to the big blind, who will defend with king queen off.
What's up?
440 in the pot already.
First off.
BJ Paris against Marlon Laksamana. Marlon first to act. 10-2-4. BJ's hit the top set. Nothing doing here for king queen high. If they check and we see the bet already by BJ, it's 200K. About half the pot.
Less than 6. Fold.
And it's a check fold for Marlon. I try to pick up the Facebook stream here, maybe get some table audio going. I don't have it on Zoom.
First off, 60. Fold.
Hang on, you might get some feedback.
Fold.
So let me mute the other device. Oh, there we go. Yikes.
175.
All right, see a couple of comments. I can see your comments now, so feel free to jump in.
Last set. Fold. Fold.
Big end here. Pop queen to Raymond. Facing a just about min raise from Gary.
Last set.
Raymond's been very active. He's been dealt the hands, first few hands of this final table. So he's in the blinds. And he's used a time bank to figure out what's the proper 3-bet sizing here. Gary's raised to 175K.
All in. All in. 60.
Raymond just keeps it simple, goes all in. And it's a function of Gary's stack size. It's only around $1 million, so to try to leverage by
Last time.
3-betting a third of it, but this is way simpler. If Gary's got a hand like jacks or ace king, ace queen, he just might go with it and Raymond's gonna have him trouble. Raymond not really wanting to play out of position first flop there. And he takes down the pot. Okay, nothing but aces for J-Pilia. Aces under the gun. What would you rather have? Aces under the gun, aces on the big blind, or aces on the button? Let me know in the comments.
200.
I like aces in the big blind. You get to see all the races and re-races before you even have to act. But aces under the gun, also interesting. J-Pilia's raised to 200Ks, 2.5x'd it. And just gotta hope that someone's gonna lose his mind in 3-bet or have a hand that can defend. Calling the button and the blinds. Will they want a piece of this? J-Pilia's got a very solid image. But that mini has been caught being tricky once in a while. Ryan Messina doesn't have a hand. We don't even see it. Ace 5 for Gary, no good. Rainer's got Queen 4 off and the best hand, and Hold'em goes to the muck. 7 deuce offsuit all the way round to the small blind. It's Raymond with the suited 69, the breakfast of champions.
Just 10 seconds.
So I thought about it, and DJ Pair's not gonna defend with the Queen 7 off. For the dinosaurs out there, they called it the computer hand. Don't know if the newer players know why that is. No action for the aces of J-Pilia. Button now in Raymond, so the blinds are 40K, 80K. DJ Paris in the small, J-Pilia in the big. Speaking of big, here's a big boy. Hot shot, hot sauce is watching. Shout out to you. Early action here. King 10 suited for Edgar Asihan. Sitting on just under 2 million. Still over 20 bigs.
Raise to 170.66.
Open for 170. Didn't want to make it look like a min race. We added 10K to it. J-Pilia in the big blind with sixes. In a cash game, you want to speculate and set mine, but in a tourney, you just might want to go over the top and shove this, depending on the stack sizes. They are sitting on 20 bigs. All the options are viable, even folding, depending on your overall strategy and your read of your opponent. J-Pilia is out of position, trying to set mine. The 3 and the 7 are good for him, but the 10 kind of hits a lot of the cards in Edgar's raising range. See what Jay does here, if he's going to check call at least one, or if he is done. I believe he's already checked, as the dealer has her attention on Edgar Asihan, who's already put out that continuation bet. It's a $1.50. You can see. And it's a check fold for Jay. No set, no go. There's an even neat top pair there. Just needed to breathe on the pot, take it down. To recap, you are watching the final table of the BLUFF Masters 1 million guaranteed tourney. 1 million was guaranteed, but 2.151 million is the total prize pool. 672 entries, buying in 3-5 apiece. Started 5 days ago, down to the final 9. And this is your final 9. We haven't lost anyone yet. Okay, here was the chip leader, Philip Baider, coming into the final table, but some players have gotten ahead on the grind and are closing in on him. And under the gun, Edgar is raising Queen Jack off. Ryan Messina with a 3-betting hand here. It's going to depend on what he thinks of Edgar's under the gun range. Ryan Messina has a massive amount of chips. 3.7, almost double what Edgar's got. I believe he's taking a time bank. I'm sorry, Edgar just limped this one in. I misread the chip colors. 25K, I believe, are the dark blue ones. Let's call them blue and violet. They're a little similar on some smaller screens. So anyway, we're on Ryan Messina's raised it to 240K, and Raymond's got a suited ace queen, facing a limp and a raise. He and Ryan are pretty deep, so he's gonna need more time to figure this out. It's a limp and a raise. Gotta at least consider what the limper is gonna do.
The raise 650.
Don't want to be 3-betting here and then face a 4-bet. But Raymond has to play the cards in front of him, and 3-bet is the play. He re-raises to 650. And he blows the players right out of their seats there as BJ Perez and J-Pilia leave their seats. Almost prematurely. Jay left his seat before folding his hand. Action to the big blind. Phillips got the Doyle Brunson hand, and off to the limper, who will now reveal that it was nothing after all under the gun, and now pressure on Ryan Messina. He was facing a limper, and he had to make it a little larger than the mid-raise. Had to make it 240. So if that's dead money, it's a lot more than he wanted to put out there. Use the time bank again. Can't really play this hand with a 4-bet. In his mind, he's blocking the ace, but he's not blocking kings and queens. And if he flats, he's playing with a fellow deep stack. And he's playing out of position. And that's what you do if you don't have initiative and you don't have position. Maybe you don't want to play. Raymond takes that down. Well played by Raymond, and he is racing towards the top of the heap. Shout out to Jerson Besmonte Giras. Thank you for joining the stream. And Orna is watching. Shout out to you and to Julia Catherine. Go Sissy. Who is Sissy? Sino si Sissy? Sister. Wala namang babae sa table. Lines 40-80. Again, the purple chips are 25K. The blue ones are 10K. You're looking at Edgar Arsena's big blind under the gun. Ryan Messina. You don't even see his hand. It's that bad. Gary 11. Call him Gary 11. That's what it looks like on the screen. Raymond's having a really good run early here in the final table. He's looking like a maniac, actually, because people haven't seen his cards. We have. The other players haven't seen what he's been sitting on. It just looks like he's raising and 3-betting every hand. You know it's for good reason, but his image has got to be maniacal right now. He has kings. He's min-raised it. Hoping the blinds will defend. Phillips not going to defend the small, and queen 3 off. Sad story. Ace is no action, king's no action so far here at this final table. And Raymond shows, just so they don't think he's a maniac. Ken is my sister. Alrighty. Who's Ken? Ken the dealer? It's a battle for a 500,000 peso payday. And no one's really short stacked. Nobody, I mean, it's a good payout at 9th, but trust me, nobody wants that 9th place payout right now. 32,500. good payday for 5 days of work, but when you're looking at 500,000 that could be yours, 32.5 can sometimes feel worse than nothing. Back to the action. Raymond's got king queen. He's now sees the chip lead. He's got 4.3 million, raising yet again. Man is sitting on a piece of bread. He's on a roll. He raises this time to 170. Changing it up just for the randomness of it.
Sinisipit lang yun.
Phillips on the button with ace jack off.
Sound check. Hindi ba kumanta rito?
Well, they're quite liberal using these time cards early in the final table. Not sure how many they have. Looks like they got at least 5 each.
Eh, hindi, naka-TV table eh. Paano magiging maingay? Walang TV table pa, di masaya to. Okay
When in
lang.
doubt, we go
500.
ask.
Raise
Eh, wala eh, TV table to eh. Ang dami manonood. Pag kami pwede.
So Phillips made a 3-bet, smallish one to 500. Could have gone 480, would have been sent the same message. 3-betting ace jack off from the button. Raymond's not gonna play this to a 4-bet, I don't think, but he will have to decide if this is worth playing out of position against a fairly tight player with 3-bet him on the button.
last 10 seconds.
Now Raymond's going through those time banks like
Ito lang may time bang wala.
popcorn in a movie theater.
Kaya matagal yung final table. Big blind on. Hindi big blind on. Big blind on.
King queen off, not looking pretty right now.
Kaya matagal.
Going to be out of position against a 3-better. Pot's 870.
Kaya pag
Of course,
malaking event,
500 belongs to Philip. He's taking down a 370k upside on this pot.
nakakapag-isip ako.
Takes it down with a 3-bet.
Black players.
Dapat ako. Lahat na. Niluto mo rin tayo.
So far, no one's really played that big a pot.
Hindi mo.
Players have been behaving, folding the 3-bets. I know it's late at night, but it's early when it comes to the action in this final table. Still 9 remain. You see the payouts on your screen.
Kaya pag naglaro yung mga top pros ng metro.
And a cumulative winnings. Interesting stat. Raymond's made the most headway since we started the stream. And he's taken the lead here at the final table. First man to 4 million. Rainier Galvez is now under the gun.
$160.
160 raise.
Don't see his hand, but we see him reaching for chips. Now we see he's got pocket sevens. And he's made it a $1.60.
3 fold. 4 fold. 6 5 fold.
Might go fold all the way to the other side and clear around the table as even the button is folded. Ryan can't play queen 2. It's going to be down to the big blind. Let's see what Gary's got. He's got an ace and a deuce. He drops a deuce. Gives up his big blind, and Rainier Galvez takes a pot. First round of boxing here at the final table.
Tayo din.
Puro jab lang muna.
Ay, pag TV table. Di ba?
2 jabs,
Pag TV
2
table.
counters.
Pag TV table.
Nobody in dire situation right now. Lines are still 40K, 80K. I believe the shortest stack is just around under a million. There you see, that's Marian Laksamana with 990K. Sitting on about 13 bigs, 12 bigs.
Take one fold.
And chip leader, once again, has a hand he can race with.
Raise. 50 raise to 160.
He's a madman.
Three fold. Six, four fold.
Extra pa.
At this point, if I'm Philip, I'm 3-betting him again, regardless of my hand. I've seen him fold the 3-bet. Can't always have it.
Ganito, diba?
What is
Apat na
this?
milyon na
Extra
ba?
time banks for everybody. Everyone gets 3 extra time banks or meal stubs. Not sure what those are. They're time banks.
7 fold.
Folded round,
8 fold.
Gary 11. Galvez in the small with ace-9. I'd like to see a 3-bet here, but he just calls. Oh, he's defending his big blind.
8, 9 fold.
Pardon me, my screen isn't 72 inches. So SB and BB look the same to me. 10, 7, 6,
9
rainbow. It's a gutter ball for Rainier Galvez. That's fun to check raise.
3 check.
Raymond checks back.
9 check.
Rainier Galvez can call a turn bet here. It's ace high is ranks to be pretty good, especially that the 10 has paired at the end. If Rainier Galvez checks, he can be checking the call, and Raymond wisely checks behind, gives Rainier this pop. And the good news is no one has to see what Raymond had there, as he gets to chuck his hand into the muck and keep it a mystery. That's good news for Raymond. And he lost the minimum there. Just the minimum race. He is still the chip leader.
800 na.
And Marlon is still the... Yep, he's been voted by the table as most likely to finish 9th place right now. Because the blinds are coming to get him. He's now in the big blind. We're going to see the action go around to him.
4 and 5 fold.
King Queens made another appearance, this time in the hands of Edgar Esihan. It's been raised every time we saw it being handled. Same story here.
170. 7 fold.
170 is the raise. Gary's got a suited Broadway hand. He's also got the dealer button.
5 seconds.
I like calling here in a catch game, but tourney players might prefer 3-betting here. Gary's got a short stack, actually shorter than Marlon's. Shoving might be the play, but if he does that, he's really just turning his annual bluff into a bluff. So I think he's opting to make the flat and hope the blinds don't squeeze him out. Rainier's out. Marlon, he's looking at like 4.5 to 1 to bust somebody with a 5-3 of diamonds. Well, he's not busting anybody. He could bust Gary. Gary just, he's called and left himself 630k behind. If he so much as grazes this flop, he could be going all in. Now that's as hard a hit as you want. The 2 8s don't really matter when your head's up. You're just looking at those 2 diamonds. Oh, he opts to check. Gary didn't go for it. His King 10 won't win a showdown. And now it's a double paired board. Edgar can easily have an ace here.
8 fold.
They're actually chopping right now. Gary makes the call. He's still hunting for that. Now they're both playing the board. The bad news is someone with pocket nines is going to beat that board. Edgar is polarizing here, going all in.
Pocket tens here.
Does not want to share that pot. This is a great move. He can have a jack. He can have two aces. He can have pocket nines. He can have nothing. And I think Gary missed a bet on the flop there. Trying to get that flush for free. Instead gets blown out of the pot. Half of it would have been rightfully his, but Edgar made a bold play there. Anytime you're playing the board like that, it's always a chop or lose situation when someone shoves into it. It's very hard to call. And the short stack got shorter there. His fellow short stack Marlon in the small. Boy, that shirt is glued to his mouth. I guess it's not glued to his mouth. I mean, he's holding it there. But I see this a lot. A lot of players like Big Time and some of the other top guys, they hold that pose. They grab one side of their shirt collar and pull it over their mouth and keep it there the whole game. Edgar in middle-ish position with pocket threes. He's going to open up 170. It's shover fold for Gary here. Jack 10 of spades. Wouldn't blame him for taking a stand with his hand.
10 seconds. It's 8-4.
Oh, he doesn't like it. Performs really well against sevens below. Here in your gal is on the dealer button, looking to change things up and make a move, but not yet. Wow, good instincts for Rainier. Must have sniffed the aggression that's surely to come from Marlon in the small blind with a short stack and a big hand. Somehow he's announced all in through his shirt, and the dealer heard him. And it's gonna roll around to Edgar with the pocket threes. He's ahead of a lot of ace-X hands, but he's crushed by pocket fours and higher.
Sa final table tsaka ko yung surprise.
Only consideration here is how much more to call.
60 more to call.
Based on that amount, he's got to figure out if it's optimal against Marlon's shoving range. How much of that is exactly ace-king and ace-queen? How much of that is fours and higher? You'd be crushed against fours and higher. All in for 830. He's already put in 170. So he's really only calling, well, 660. 2 to 1. Almost. Then again, 2 to 1 doesn't matter if you're dominated by a higher pair. He's got to see through the back of those cards and see if it's an unpaired hand. And that's the better part of Valor. Nice takedown from Marlon. Well, that's what the rest of his face looks like. So we only get to see Marlon's face when he has to use both hands to stack chips after winning a pot. Hit a BPIP on Raymond and Edgar leading the pack. Of course, we have seen they have been, they've been dealt actual hands. They look like maniacs with those percentages, but those of us watching have the benefit of seeing that they have not been raising to nothing. Moving along. That's BJ Paris in the big blind, which means J-Pilia has folded under the gun. Philip's got queens, UTG +1. And if he's gonna play by the rules of the table, he should only be raising about $1.70 here. Let's see how his sizing goes. It's 180. King Queen makes yet another appearance in the hands of Edgar Atian, but this time he's facing a raise from a pretty solid range.
430.
Looks like he's going for the 3-bet, and he's gonna find out soon enough. Sitting on just a little bit over 20 bigs. 3-bet to 430, assuming no one else has a hand. Philip's got to decide if he wants to play this out of position, or if he wants to 4-bet to roughly half the stack of Edgar Atian, or just outright put him all in. Can't really see him folding here. So it's call and play this pot out of position, or stick it in and hope you're not up against kings and aces.
10 seconds.
Philip trying to listen to all the voices in his head right now. What are they saying? What are the queens telling him? Oh my goodness, did not see that coming. Wow. Okay. Giving Edgar a little bit too much credit here. We've seen Edgar play in a lot of different live streams. So we're not surprised he can do that. He can 3-bet that. But that's meta game in action for you. We know Edgar's pretty wide. We know Philip's pretty tight. So when Edgar chooses to 3-bet against a known tight player, suddenly his wide range doesn't seem to matter anymore. What matters is he 3-bet a solid player from early position. And wow. I'm with you, David. Queens fold. Why? Why? Somebody comment why. Why, Gerardo Lubas? Why? Somebody tell me why. The queens were whispering in my ear. What the queens were saying was stick it in. But if they got out, heroic fold at the wrong time. He could have 4-bet half or just stuck it in. He could take the hit. He was not going to get busted by Edgar Atian. Still not over at 2 Warley Pascual. Queens folded. Here's what happened if you missed it in the hand prior. From under the gun +1, Philip by there opened with pocket queens. Immediately after him, Edgar Atian 3-bet him. I won't tell you what he had if you missed it. Basta, he 3-bet him. He's sitting on 1.7 million. He 3-bet to about 500, 430, I think. And then action came around to Philip by there, and he folded queens. So that's what happened. And you can scrub back and watch it yourself while I try to pick up the pieces on the ongoing action here. And you can tell me in the comments what you think of that. Wow, indeed. And you can see Philip's His face like a thought bubble, like he's still questioning himself. He's probably asking himself why. Back to live, aces for Ron Ryan Messina. If he folds this to a 3-bet, I'm quitting poker. Seriously, guys. So he's gonna open here, and let's see if he folds to a 3-bet.
8 fold,
Probably not.
9 fold.
So here we go. Action off to the later positions. Hijack's got nothing. Raymond's got suited, king 9, not playing that to raise.
4 fold,
And bunch of garbage hands. We saw J-Pilia with ace earlier, open from under the gun, got no action. And now Ron Ryan Messina the same, no action for his aces. Also saw kings earlier from Raymond, no action for his kings. Queens got action but folded to it. So that's been the story of this final table. So far, everyone being super careful. Even when we saw the short stack play, Gary was also super cautious and playing his hand when he played it earlier. Like I said, nobody wants that ninth place money. It's 32,500. I'll take it if they don't want it. Of course, you want that first place finish. You don't want to be first out on a live streaming final table. I don't know. You also don't want to be seen folding queens on the live streaming final table. So, to each his own. Back to the action. Queen deuce into the muck. Slightly better here. Queen 4. Short stack getting shorter. Fortunately, it's a BB ante format here. So there's no antes bleeding your stack dry. But Gary, the bad news is the blinds are up 50k, 100k. And the button's coming around and the blinds are coming to get you.
9 raised.
Rainier Galvez opens with ace-9 suited. Raised it to 200. That's a min raise. The blinds have gone up. And nothing but garbage as we go to the blinds.
5 fold,
Edgar Esihan with Jack 8 in the big blind. A lot of experience between these two players, Rainier Galvez and Edgar Esihan. Would not be surprised if Edgar plays his hand.
6 fold,
And no action for Rainier, takes down 250. Rev Hippolito, very respectful player, folding queen. Okay, fine. Let's say you open with queens. If you were gonna fold to a 3-bet, I guess if it was J-Pilia maybe, but not to Edgar Esihan. I don't know. It depends on the table time they've had. We don't know what they've been through the last 5 days. You know what kind of table time they spent with each other, what they picked up on each other. Maybe Philip picked up what he thought was a strong tell. Maybe Edgar faked him out. We don't know what happened there. We can only see what they did. Alay mo, hindi niya feel. And a king was gonna come on the flop. Alright, Gary is all in 500k with 2 kings. Not 2 kings. 2 kings.
5 fold,
Very suited. Bit of trivia, King Deuce back in the days of Limit Hold'em, King Deuce was the most average hand, right in the middle of the pack.
8 fold, 500.
So it's not as bad as you think. It's still King High, but of course Ace High is better. Rainier's got Ace High. That 5's a bit of a problem. You want to have 2 overs when you're calling a shove.
9 fold,
And there's a lot of action to happen behind Rainier Galvez, so doesn't want to get sandwiched there. Yep, this is the hand that's going to call. BJ Paris in the hijack with 7s can choose to isolate here. Can call 500 and get out if someone
6 4 fold,
raises over the top of that.
6 5 fold,
Can safely just fold if someone else comes over the top. Just, no one's coming over the top that's weaker than 7s in this kind of action.
6
So BJ Paris makes the call, and it looks like it's not even going to be a race because that deuce doesn't stand to win even if it hits. Gary's gonna need to hit the king
Show cards, please.
or shovel up a bunch of spades. Here comes the flop. King
Pag
deuce
wala
of
ko
spades
tapo ka, ano?
for the tournament life
Five
of
hearts.
Gary, and for that 9th place money. Oops. 735, it's over. Not a spade in sight. Runner straight is not gonna happen. No
Yeah.
sense slowing it down.
5-5 daw.
Gary is eliminated in 9th place. Got 32,500 to show for it. Took a shot with a king high hand. Shot it and missed. Missed it like Jordan Poole. And he is out at 9th place. Hey jump for the other short stack, Marlon Laksamana. Shout out to guys joining the stream. Piece of club in the house. And my favorite essay, my bato, Billy Dan Malonzo. Dano Alvarez and Prime Show is watching Prime. Welcome to the stream. You're watching live the last 8 players of the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed tournament. Prize pool balloon to 2.151 million. Almost 700 entries, 8 remain, and you're watching it live. Live with a delay, you know how it goes. Delayed for security purposes. Back to the action, it's a fold of ace-10 off in early position. Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you do that. J-Pilia, you know, when someone stacks his chips like that, they're looking for a spot to shove. You put them all in one singular tower. Careful what you do with your chips, guys.
Kahit sino
It's
po
kind of a big
dito
tell
tapon na
sometimes.
kung ano nangyari sa'yo.
Siyempre.
Like you can tell what a guy's inclined to do, what he's fixing to do based on how he treats his chips.
Ha?
So we got a limp,
Nagdaanan siya ng blink.
a completion of the blind by Ron Ryan Messina. Rainier Galvez has 5-3 suited. I like a race here because it's really nothing. It's not gonna win a lot of flops. Rainier checks. First blind versus blind action we see here. Queen 7-9. Nobody has hit anything, but Rainier Galvez has position and 100%. Well, not 100% of his range. Pretty much 80%. Random. They go check, check. Now it's got shot for Rainier Galvez. Not very exciting. Ron Ryan Messina, his own got shot. Double belly actually for Ron Ryan Messina. I think it's worth betting, but he checks, which gives Rainier Galvez the cue to bet. I like Ron Ryan's hand. Double gutter, and even the king might be a good out. Come on, man, he's got to call this. Didn't raise to keep the pot small. Pot small if they can call. There you go. That's one of the gutter balls. Of course, the more obvious one. The jack would be a bit more hidden. This one makes a bit of an obvious straight. Ron Ryan has to, I don't know, maybe check and bluff catch. If he goes for value here, he's just not going to get paid. Rainier Galvez can only raise. He cannot call. And that's gonna go. He actually used a time bank for that. So he is thinking about raising.
Anim pa kami ganina.
He's got the lower end of the straight, that's why. It's called the sucker end of the straight for a reason.
Anim. Ispar lang.
Well, now Rainier Galvez is trying to bluff catch. And he makes the call, and he's going to see the bad news. He's got the bottom end of the straight That 8 is a nasty card. Yeah, take it back. The 8 was better than the Jack. Because it got him a call. Not a bad pot for blind versus blind. With some help from the evil gods of poker. Putting that 8 on the river. Ron makes an extra 250 out of that one. But moves, I believe we may have a... No, it's a small blind, big blind as usual. Yeah, interesting, Edward. I was about to ask Edward Badiola, saying 250 so low. I was wondering how much more. But you don't always think the guy is sitting on a 5 at the other side. I mean, so. But yeah, going a little higher, just to polarize it a bit, make it look like you're stealing. Maybe he might have gotten called more than 250, but Raymond went for the amount he thought was going to get called for sure. Back to the action. Under the gun raise by Raymond, who's been super active the first few orbits. Catching all the hands. Meanwhile, all I can catch over here is a cold. Ron Ryan Machine's got suited 6-4. In the small, 9-10 off. Not great, often dominated. If I remember my chart. One of the worst hands to play. To a raise. Your 10's going to be dominated so many times. Marlon Luxamana, he can take a stand here with 2 5s. Don't really want to set mine, don't have the implied odds for it. And playing it out of position. Ew. Ew, don't do it. Oh, he's just going to call. Barely has enough to set mine there. Ace 3, ace. How do you like them aces? It's going to be check fold city for Marlon Luxamana. Raymond just has to bet the minimum here. And he does. Wow, Marlon's going to float one. Okay. Plan is being hatched by the short stack. He's checked and called there. And with that check by Raymond, this opens the door for a river bet. Marlon can take this on the river. Not that he has to. He goes check, check. And he gets the showdown. Nice run of the board. Raymond just didn't have room for that second barrel. Marlon Luxamana's stack was getting a little too short. That second barrel might have been suicidal. But think about it. If Marlon's sitting on an ace, does he just flat call there? Pre-flop?
May alas pa ako. Ace 10 ako pala. Spot niya.
Bakit yun? Nakita ko sa comment to. Queens, fold, why? Sorry.
Nice pickup by Marlon. Trying to get out of Shortsville. And get in the land of the long pants with the big boys. Try to make that 500,000 first place money. J Paris, he's opened with 5-6 suited earlier, so 8-6. Of course, he's also opened with 10-8. So yeah, his early range, his early position opening range does have a lot of these connectors. 8-6 spades this time. Rush from under the gun. Marlon's got King Jack off. in the small.
Fold 51.
Gets out of the way. Raymond's got king queen. King queen's being dealt a lot from this deck.
Galit sila.
And Raymond's gonna defend.
Okay,
Off
galit nga.
to flop we go. Big blind versus under the gun.
Honest naman sila
9-7 top
nagagalit.
pair for Raymond. No reason to low. PJ
Lamang
out
ka,
the water. He
nagagalit
checks.
to honest.
PJ Perez has the open ender. It's clubs, but he's still got the open ender.
Ace 10 ako.
Not gonna get spade draw. And it's a check and call. Let's see if disaster hits.
Sila yung nagagalit.
Near miss.
Lamang.
Needed a
Ba't sila
5, got a
magagalit?
4 instead.
Kakagalit.
Open ender still there for BJ Perez. Second check by Raymond. Will BJ take the free card? No.
Kaya, ba't sila ano final table? Sleepin natin.
Build that pot for when he hits the river. 400K. Raymond with a quick call. That's 2 check calls now. So it's a queen or a club draw for Raymond in BJ's eyes. Blank river. Let's see how BJ plays this. He's sitting on 8 high. Cannot win a showdown. He gives up. Checks behind. Hands going in the muck. Figured the third barrel wasn't do anything because that 3 was such a rag. Walang kinalaman in 3. I like the way BJ played it though, because when he does hit that straight and looking in the pot, he's gonna get a nice big value bet. Raymond by far the chip leader now, picking up one of the bigger pots we've seen played so far, with a raise and 2 barrels in it.
First off, it's 4.
Blinds are 50K, 100K with a BB ante. J-Pilia's under the gun. Had aces last time.
Importante. Sila wala. Sila wala.
Fold 4.
Jack 6 for Philip. Into the muck with his queens.
Fold 7. Fold 9.
And
Kaso ba?
an ace. Not a suited one.
Small club ng gapay.
Fold 6-1.
Marlon gives it up on the button. And now Raymond, most active player on the table,
Dami na
completes.
trade game sa'yo. Mapol ka pala ng punta. Light trade
Let's see a
pa
flop. BJ checks with a king 4 off. 7-3. 2-tone.
Kaya na-raise mo 180. 500
Top
trade.
pair, it's
Kung
the
wala ka
lead
trade
for
game,
Raymond. Quick fold for BJ. Off to the next hand.
Hindi naman ako
More
nagpapatapon
chips for the chip leader.
Ako din, 500.
Bara ako, paano ko sa pagpapakain ng bara ako? Parang 250 kayo, di ba? 250 na.
I'm gonna turn the tables off on and off. It might cause some feedback. Yep, it's gonna cause feedback. I'm not doing that. Back to the action. We started with 9, got 8 left at this final table.
5. Fold 6. Fold 6-7.
Okay, let's see what Rainier Galvez does with queens. He's in the hijack. Looks like 200K.
Fold 51. Fold 6-7.
Seen some big hands dealt. No action on aces twice. No action on kings. Let's see if queens can get some action. J-Pilia, the big blind with a suited jack. He is getting 4.5 to call. I mean 4.5 to 1 odds.
5-7.
But his stack, can he speculate with 1.2 behind? He's gonna do it. Gonna take a flop with jack 6 of hearts. Only 1 heart there, nowhere near a straight. Big fat nothing on the flop for J-Pilia. Rainier Galvez gonna continue here. 150, not gonna get a call here from Jay. small game.
Sabihin ko bakit
But a good one.
Opo.
May type
Shout out sa'yo, Tati.
Wala type siya.
Kung nasan ka man. Welcome to the stream. You're watching the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed tourney. We're live streaming from the Masters Poker Room
Sa kanya pang call pa rin.
Okay lang mapalit.
in Malate.
Walang perfecto.
Daming may stat. Pero marami ko.
Yung mga nanonood kasi magaling eh, no?
Magaling ka talaga pag nanonood. Totoo yun. Okay lang magkamali. Wala naman perfecto. Masyado kasi perfectionist ang Pinoy. Tama ba? Tatin lahat.
Folded to Marlon.
Mentality, perfection.
Shout out kay Idol Marlon. Sabi ni parang Egay. Marlon's got a slightly bigger ace this time. Been very patient. Raised this to 225. Trying to get those blinds. Here's two of the tighter players at the table in the small and big. So Marlon, I mean, seats 1 and 2, we can kind of try to steal all day. Options kind of open, kind of out there. Philip's gonna defend with 10 deuce suited. He's gonna defend against the short stack. What's the plan here when you miss completely? Both ways, ace high still ranks to be good. Philip defends now. A lot of players check that flop and the trips and check it, but nope. The plan was to flop a flush, and since that didn't happen, Philip's just gonna check all the way out of his hand, and ace high will win. I mean, seems that way.
Yung amo, ginawa niyang player.
Awkward to come out firing now.
Yung
Unless
lahat
he
ng
fires
mga
big.
nag-i-stay, ginawa niyang player. Diba?
And there's a check, and Marlon can take a showdown here with ace high and take the pot down.
Kaya nga goat eh.
And as a bonus, he gets to see the hand Philip defended with. More chips coming into the hands of Marlon Laksamana. Tatin is watching from Cambodia.
Para siya si Pulpuwa natin. Yeah. Pulpuwa.
And shout out to
Ipin mo sila Danit ang yayaman ni State.
Christine Pascual.
The webs. Yayaman.
Or as I like to call her, the admin of mystery of Filipinas poker. Rainier Galvez once again has aces. Wait, is this the second time? No, he had queens earlier. Someone else had aces. Whatever. This is the third time we've seen aces at this final table. Barely an hour into it. And Rainier Galvez has raised once again to 200K. He got action with the queens earlier. Let's see who gets action for his aces. Marlon's got a mystery hand. He's using a time bank. Looks like once he used them all. He's picking up black chips. Those are, I know the purple ones are 25K, the blue ones are 10K, so maybe the blacks are 100K. Whatever it was, he thought about it and gave it up. Gonna go all the way around to the blinds and no action for the aces.
Para kay Rayel yung big blind.
Gonna play out this way. You gotta start raising garbage. If you're getting folds every time you raise, why not?
Ano to? Ano? Last game?
The bell shouting out sa mga service ng masters.
Kala mo ba?
Diyan makukuha.
Walang service. Walang iced tea. Pag walang iced tea, uwi na ako.
Wag mo daw masyadong bend yung card.
Ba't ako? Puta, hindi ko nga nabebend.
Pinta mo gano'n eh.
Yan baka hindi ko nga nabebend. Ganun nga lang. Nahihirapan nga ako.
Still playing 8-handed. The next payout is about
Gentle
40k,
kuminte.
42k,
Parang ano yung kamay ko.
10k jump.
Tubig eh.
Double check that,
Gentle
but
ganun lang.
that's what I remember seeing.
Hold ka, no?
Paul.
Hindi, kala ko, titirahin niya eh. Kasi
Yep,
time back-
43,000
Hindi, hold yun.
for the
Hold ako.
sure to be unhappy 8th place finisher. They are gunning for that first place finish, 500,000. Second place is just a shade under 270.
Alaman ng flat goal.
Ay, malaman na.
Tigil na natin.
Pinapanood lang tayo.
461. 462. Rate 253. 464. 465.
EJ Perez has raced once again. Student connector, Jack 9 of hearts.
464.
He's kept it to the one gappers.
Diba marami?
And in the blind, got an ace and a 7. Ron Ryan Messina is gonna defend.
Baka mag-comment sila.
If he's paying attention, we saw BJ Perez barrel twice and give up in one of these race spots.
Baka mag-comment sila. Ba't
But
natatanggal?
Ron Ryan
Paano ba
Messina
to?
can find a check caller too here.
Ha?
Might pull this spot away from BJ. Certainly gonna be firing. 8-6 queen 2-tone. Ron only has a7, but think about it. Beating a lot of student connectors. Also a lot of student connectors hit that 8 and 6 on
Hindi mo yung
the
walang
board.
matapos dito.
Tinatawanan lang tayo.
This one works out for BJ.
Pisod-pisod ka niya.
Always dangerous player.
Hindi yung kaliw. Hawak ko lang.
Welcome to the live stream, Mr. Emerson Go.
Ang magkamali ay pipigutin ko.
Pag napisod yan. Ang daming pisod, hindi matipisod eh. Matay. Dudubling kita. Hindi ko kailangan mo. Dudubling kita.
461.
Ayaw ba? Ayaw ba? Ayaw ba?
Can't quite hear the table talk, but I'm reading the captions on the screen.
Rate 225. 465.
All right, back to the action. BJ's raced at 225 with ace queen off.
465. 465.
Still a connector, if you think about it. More importantly, it's a big Broadway hand.
Nabasa na.
469.
And no action all around. Telling you, you gotta open up. Seeing a lot of folds pre-flop like this is gonna make me want to raise a hell of a lot of hands. Let's see who picks up on that.
Tapos 3.7 ako nun eh. 18 win na tayo.
Baba, di ba payagan ngayon? Ang dami. No? Di ba payagan?
Ako rin naman.
Lalaro ako ah.
Shout out to Milbert,
Ako pa.
watching from either Manila or Chao. You tell me. Welcome to the live stream. Final table of the Masters. Sorry, the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed event.
Ang mga matapang.
We had 9. We already lost Gary. Only 8 players remain.
464.
Dito ako ng nervous eh.
Philip is in the hijack.
Hindi na ako.
Let's get active.
465.
Actively folded.
Taas sila right.
Trying to pick up.
Tangina, umingay tuloy. Nagsalita lang si Baba.
You know, the players to his left are interested in playing the hand at all. It's always a good thing.
Awa ni Baba.
Coach Tommy Angelo always used to say, look to your left. Players don't look to the left often enough.
Pinakatay na yung small pa yung big blind.
Always look to your left, see if they're interested in playing. That way, you might be able to play a lot of hands you normally wouldn't play if you see the
Sino
players to your
nagsasalita?
left
Si
uninterested.
Goodread. Bonso.
Ron ran Cena.
Galing yan. Galing pa
Good look to
mag-English.
his left.
No.
Might have picked up that Marlon has a hand he's going to want to play. He's defended his blind with suited ace 10. 6-6.
Devil.
On the board.
Board.
Should be an easy check call
Ay, hindi.
One street. for Marlon. Depending on how Ron play this.
Gagawin natin dito, Pasko na, malulungkot pa tayo.
Bingo. That's a nice hit. I like to check here because Ron can rep that ace if he wants to. Value on himself. It looks like he's just flat out giving up here. Marlon's not going to get a single chip more from his opponent. And Ryan wisely checks out of his hand. He's only got queen high. Just kicking those 4 cards with a queen. You can pretend he has kings here. And do a Hollywood fold. Yep, he's Hollywooded before the fold. Uses a time bank. They get 9 time banks. So I don't know if I want to use the time bank for a Hollywood fold. Rather use it for the harder decisions that would really come deeper into this event. This is not a hard decision at all. Gilbert is watching from Yao. Will not return to Manila dahil sobrang traffic. Stay with me. Streaming, joining the stream from Mauban, Quezon.
Wala tayo, 2% nga lang yan. Pag kung nakakaroon ka lang sa AC, 2%. Sa turn, ano yun? So, palangkin.
Dito walang traffic pero may baha.
Easy game. Easy gaming by Dame Spade.
Fold, 6-8. Only 6-4. 4, 6, 4.
J-Pilia takes a stand. All in with King 10 off. UTG +1.
435
Told you he was looking for a spot to shove.
4, 6, 5.
And he's decided this is it. In your Gavas, if he had a higher side card, might have been calling, but that 8 is not looking too great. Like shoving with ace 8, don't like calling with it. Still gotta think about it. Even call. Here we go. He's actually ahead.
Isay lang.
Isay din, no?
Aray.
Excuse me.
Call ka? Call ka rin eh, no?
That's the action. Coming to ahead, J-Pilia's tourney life is on the line with King High. He needs to hit. All Rino needs to do is dodge, and he's going to bust out J-Pilia at 8th place.
Wala na tayo makain. Duwagan tayo.
Shout out to one of my idols on the table and on other seats, Eman Segismundo. Welcome to the stream. This is the Masters, BLUFF Masters, 1 million guaranteed. Final table, 7 na lang ang natitira. Started with 9. We just lost J-Pilia at 8th place, who comes away with a 43,000 peso payday. Seven remain, and former short stack Marlon has weathered the storm, laddered up 2 steps, and got some chips in the process.
Wala mo. 3. Ayos. 2, 5, 4. May ano.
See the chip counts. Raymond is still the chip leader. Rainier Galvez picked up J-Pilia short stack to move up. Philip there has been slowly slipping down that ladder. And tops in AF for Raymond and Ryan Messina and BJ Perez all up there. No surprises to those who know these players.
Siguro mga 250, 500 yung guys. No? Sarap no? 250, 500 yung guys. No? 250, 500.
Paano gagawin?
In the +1 with an ace.
ICM. Tanong mo si Don Ryan.
Hindi mo pa siya makain.
Don Ryan din. Doon di kami sa
Marlon's got deuces. And he's going to open with it. 225.
Sige, post mo muna. Pang-raise yung bara ako. Doon eh. Ay, pinapost po. Sino ba mga?
Wala, grabe yung pitcha ako eh.
Wala.
Wala ako.
Ayun.
Hindi, tingnan ko lang. Pero pag magustuhan,
Well, Phillips in the tank with Jack 3 outsuit.
Ako, fighter rin ako eh. Tignan mo nga lang. Ay,
His
grabe yan.
chips have been bleeding out.
Pagkadating ng final table,
He's
naka-10
still
hikab
sitting
na
on more than
ata.
20 bigs. Do you really want to make a move now? He does want to make a move, does he? I hope to God he won't waste a time bank on this hand. It's not worth it. Okay, he's made a move. Wow, he's picked up something on Marlon there. Philip moves all in and takes it away. I don't think Marlon's going to call with two twos. Nice display of instincts there for Philip. Now he puts Marlon in the tank. But there's tons of better spots.
Pinag-iisipan niya sa Pusoy dos, steady siya.
Nice pickup by Philip.
Lalabanan natin, ano? Meron. Ano ba?
A few more moves like that, and we might even forget that he folded queens earlier. We might.
Tingnan mo nga kung ano.
The players are getting off the table, so I assume we're going on break, and I need a break too, because I can't catch a hand, but I can catch a cold doing this live stream. Are they on break? I'm going to take a water break, so I'll be right back. There we go. There's the announcement. Play resumes in 10 minutes. So you'll hear from me in 11 minutes. Play will resume in 1 minute. Players will be. And time to mute my monitor as we prepare for the players to return to the action. I got a message that they might have been negotiating ICM. I don't think they should with 7 players remaining. Please don't chop this too soon. Let's play for that $500,000. Let me take this time to read out the remaining payouts. Here we go. You're watching the final 7 players. Resuming final table play. Final table of the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed tourney. Out of 672, these 7 remain. In seat 1, Marlon Laksamana. Seat 2, Raymond. Seat 3, BJ Paris. Seat 5, Philip Bader. Edgar Asihan in seat 6. Ron Ryan Messina in 7. And Rainier Galvez in seat 9. And they are playing for what remains of the 2.151 million prize pool. 7th place finish is now a payout of 66,700. 6th place gets 90K. 5th place 111. 4th place 133. 3rd place up to 176K. 2nd placer gets 268,900, and the 1st placer, the champ, gets 505,500. Back to the action with pocket queens in the hands of Marlon, who's done well to get close to the 2 million mark after being one of the shortest stacks. He raises this one to 280. Despite that break, the blinds are not up. See the queens get action. No action. So that's been a theme of the final table so far, is that there hasn't been too much engaging. A lot of raise fold pre-flop. So players are still being patient, waiting for proper opportunities to get into post-flop action. Saw a couple of post-flop hands, but pretty uneventful, except for the hand where Raymond check called 2 barrels of BJ Paris with top pair. Also, the other hands played post-flop, checking down. Expect to see that change of gear as we lose 1 or 2 more players, because we got guys in here who can really change gears there. BJ's raised to 250. Philip's sitting on aces. He's never folding aces. Could be wrong. Not pre-flop anyway. So he's gone and 3-bet this to 600,000, which means anyone else to act that doesn't have kings is probably out of this hand. Even if you pick up queens in this spot after Philip is 3-bet to 600, it's not going to be easy to play. For BJ Paris, he's got king jack off,
Fold now.
and he gives it up. Respect the range of Philip, who can 3-bet aces or go all in with jack 3 offsuit. Grab BJ 4 bets and Philip folds aces. That's it. We're quitting poker. Maybe on a flop. Maybe on a really dangerous flop, like king, king, queen.
Action resumes. Seen a lot of aces. How long have we been on the stream? We've been going for what? Hour and a half? Seen aces, well, 4 times already. Seen kings once, queens about 3 times, and king queen about 47 times.
Nakapush yung ano, oras. Wala.
Sorry, those chips sound like construction sounds the way the tables might. Or they're that heavy. Couple of weak aces. The ace 4 picks up that one. I like to see what happens if they ever put out a rule where you can't shuffle chips on the table. It's gonna be the quietest poker game with a lot of anxious players. And a lot of players who don't know what to do with their hands if they're not shuffling chips. I guess most of them would just start smoking on the table. So, thank God for chip shuffling. Otherwise, players would be smoking at the table. BJ Perez has got a nectar once again, and he races to 240 from under the gun. Offsuit Broadway hand for Ron Ryan Messina. Into the muck. Pocket 4 straight to the muck. Didn't even think about it. Wow. Talk about the long range steal from under the gun all the way around the table. If that's how the table's gonna behave, gotta open up. Open up your raising ranges. Or else BJ's gonna take total control of this table. Now BJ's in the blind. We're still at 50K, 100K with a BB ante. Fold around to the hijack, King 10 of hearts for Ron Ryan. Opens for 250. That bright chip. Not sure if it's white or yellow, but that bright chip is 50K. No cut and defend for BJ Paris with 8-6 offsuit. So Ron's going to take that pot. Wired 10s this time. A 10 and another 10. And still 250. Bunch of garbage hands in between. Even the King Jack goes to the muck. All the way to the big blind. 6-7 of diamonds for Philip. You want to defend. Kind of deep enough to speculate, so he's going to make that call, and off to the flop we go. Heads up, big blind versus UTG +1. Tens have the better hand. Have the initiative. No diamonds. No straight possibilities. And Ron Ryan's going to skip a street. Try to take his tens to showdown. He's doing that so he can call at least one bet if Philip decides to fire. He's not. Ron Ryan might fire a thin value bet here at the river. Maybe get a bluff catcher to call him. He's kept the pot small, so any bet Philip makes here is gonna get called. It should be getting called by Ron. That's why he skipped 2 streets. Philip fires out half pot. Gotta make this call. Otherwise, why you skip the street, right? So he makes the call. Philip could not win with 7-9, so he had to do what he had to do. But I think if he mapped it out differently, maybe he would have wanted the fire, turn, and river. Or just check give up. But all those options were available to Philip, so took a stab at that river. I mean, even ace high hand was going to call there, the way Ron Ryan had played it out. Yeah, that was a really a cool way to play the tens. Made sure he got the showdown. He maximized, he protected the showdown value of his hand. And the board ran pretty good with the turn river going jack-jack. Not a lot of jacks to worry about. Some more air in the range of Philip, having defended from the big blind. Blind versus blind now. Philip's got a suited ace. Going to be playing into the big blind of, I believe it's Edgar, sitting on his left. Raised it to 360. Kind of oversized it, make sure he took it down. And he does. I believe we are live, but the game is on a 20-minute security delay. And in case that's not enough, there's also an additional 10 to 15 second delay between the stream coming out and Facebook picking it up to bring it into your screens. Marlon sitting on ace king for the second time tonight, second time this live stream. First time he had to shove it because he was a short stack. Now he's just going to raise it to 300K. The blinds are up 60K 120. And that will explain the bigger raising size. And you're not going to play 8-9 of diamonds there. And it's a pickup of a bunch of dead money in the middle. Renato Guevara Corpus, the answer to your question. Unfortunately, I don't have that information in front of me, but it should be on his Facebook page. The Masters Poker Facebook page. Also, there's a Facebook page called Masters New. Both of those are posting. And if you scroll down their feed, might see their tourney schedules. I know they also got some early bird promos. And you remember, you got a choice. You can play Masters in Malate, or if you're down south, Binyan. You see in fine print down there under our screens the address. You can read that. Binyan branch inside DRT Cockpit Arena. It's very easy to get to. Lots of parking. And lots of action coming as BJ Paris has raised with pocket sixes in the hijack immediately to his left. Philip sitting on kings. This has happened before. BJ raised with king jack. Philip had aces and 3-betting. It's going to look the same right now. Of course, we saw the hands and we knew why the action came down the way it did last time with the king jack versus aces. But right now, if you're sitting in BJ's seat, it just looks like he's getting 3-bet by Philip as a hobby. 2 for 2. Edgar Sahan sitting and suited king jack. It looks like trash when you're facing a race and re-race. But he hasn't given it up just yet. Big blind cannot defend with a lot of suited hands though in this round. And so it's going to come back to BJ. He's got 2.7 million behind him. But he's got to call another 550 if calling is even an option. BJ's going to use a time bank. Think about flatting here and playing out of position. Or going kamikaze and 4-bet shoving with 6s. Pretty strong with Phillips 3-bets like this. From what we've seen, if it's trash, he's just going to shove. But when 3-bets like this, it's for value. And BJ gets out of the way. Now, explain the graphic you just saw, aggression frequency. That's just a percentage value of when it is your turn to act, you take an aggressive or a passive action. So aggressive actions are betting and raising. Passive actions are calling. And if they follow the rules that I'm used to, checking is neutral. Folding is also considered aggressive. Oh, you know what? Folding is considered aggressive when you're calculating a different stat called aggression factor. This for aggression frequency is just the percentage of time of actions that you take that are bets or raises when it's your turn to act. Man, a cash game, that number goes up to the 50s. In a tourney, not so much. Jack, deuce, but it's suited, and it's blind versus blind. So Ranger Goblins is good. Oh my goodness, he's testing the waters. 2 jacks versus 2 jacks. It raised to 350. Marlon's got 1.9. Just outright shove here, where he could go up to 800. What's the play? 3 bets to 900, and Rainier insta folds. Blind versus blind. He just tried to get aggressive there, set the tone, and just the wrong time to do it. Speaking of aggressive, shout out. Welcome to the stream, Big B Rosette. Probably one of my, if I had to list the top 5 players that are worth watching in these live streams, Bimby is in that list. Welcome to the stream. Oh my goodness, another guy in that list. 2 of the top 5 guys on my list of players who I must watch on live streaming are in the stream. Jojo Tech, welcome to the stream. You are watching the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed final table. Down to the last 7 players. Back to the action. Of course, shout out to JR Villanueva. Ron Ryan's got ace queen suited in the cutoff. Pretty good caliber of cast characters we have here at the final table. And stacks are all playable. So it'll be a lot of probing and jabbing before things get too heated. What moves in the blind is Raymond in the small and BJ Parrott in the big. Line should still be at 60K 120 with a BB ante. Galvez raises with an ace. Dead man's hand in the cutoff. Trying to pick up on that aggression frequency. Not a lot of post-flop action. The table has been playing 3-bet or fold pre-flop. And since players are more likely to fold than to 3-bet, it makes raising quite profitable for most of these guys. VPIP has now normalized. Raymond started out on fire with over 40% VPIP because he was actually being dealt a lot of Broadway hands. And he ran up a stack and seized a chip lead during that run, so he made the most of it. But now it's normalized and he's back in the 20s as he has been dealt quite the normal run of garbage hands since then. King Queen makes another appearance. Ron Ryan has it this time. Not even raising it. Wow. He must have sensed that Ray, your Galvez on his left, was about to do something funky. Ace 10 of spades raises to 250K. And he might get action from Raymond with 2 5s. If it's not deep enough to set mine, you're probably better off 3-betting it. Let's see what Raymond is going to opt for. I believe he's mouthed a raise. So he's gone to 620. Phillips got a suited ace. Gonna look at it and say goodbye. I think he's gonna say goodbye. Try to pick up that extra read before he decides what to do here. Facing a raise and a re-raise. Uses one of his remaining time banks. Wow. If he's picking up that he can take this away with a 4-bet, take both players out of the hand, then his instincts are really on. And when it works, it looks great. And when it doesn't work, it's just the end of the tourney. All right, he has picked up. Wow. I am seriously impressed here by Philip. This is not the first time, second time tonight that he's not just simply playing his hand. He's really picked up on his opponent's weaknesses. He did need a hand when he did it to Marlon. This time he's got a bit better of a hand, but still 4-betting, non-all-in, 4-betting to 1.2. That's screaming aces or kings. What a move by Philip here. It's beautiful when it works, and it's a train wreck when it doesn't. I think it's going to work here. Great instincts being shown by Philip. Ballsy play. Now this is the guy who folded queens to 3-bet earlier. But he's more than made up for that image now with the second time he's pulled off this kind of play. Of course, he left the door open for a 5-bet shove. But that's not gonna happen. He went to his read and it was spot on. And he pulled the trigger and he took a big pot. A lot of dead money in there with a raise and a re-raise.
Kukulak sa'yo.
Best pot of the night for Philip as he gets close to the 4 million mark.
Buo ako eh.
Raymond's crashing back down to 3M after being the first over 4M. Great move by Philip there.
Pulsi kayo, jam ka. O tukulak.
Wala pala si Baba.
Buo ako.
Yep, Eduardo, wow. Wow,
May
indeed.
buo nga ako, pero...
It was wow when he folded queens, but this is also wow. And he deserved that pot. That's the highlight play right there.
Seven fold, 9 fold, 1 fold.
250.
Two raised to 150.
250.
Out of 50. 2 fold.
Oh, something different this time, as it's a raise and a call. DJ Paris calling from the dealer button. And Gracian had that suited connector, that one gapper, had really good odds to defend his big blind, but still a 7-eye hand at the end of the day. So it's the razor, Raymond with ace-8 against the dealer button color. DJ Paris, who spikes that middle pair, not going anywhere. Getting Raymond C-bet into this. It's showing 2 Broadway cards. There it is, 300K quick call by BJ Paris. Told you he's not going anywhere. Can't fold to that first C-bet when you hit a piece of this board. See if Raymond can fire a second barrel, especially because it's a blank on the turn. Can he fire again? The moment he checks, BJ knows he's won. Which is why sometimes you check with top pair in this spot. There's the check, but Raymond rivers the ace.
Ang galing talaga nito ni Jason.
Oh, goes quick check in the end.
3 hours.
And just bad luck for BJ Paris. He did flop the better hand, but the river delivered for Raymond. Ace on the river and quite a big pot there. Shout out Jay Diamond and Jason Galang. Welcome to the stream. You're watching Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed final table. 7 players remain. Prize pool was over 2 million. First place money is 505,000. Hard to pick a horse here. You got Rainier Galvez, Edgar as you have BJ Perez, pair showing fire, Marlon. It's hard to pick one. Raymond had a great start to this final table. Had a spell of bad run of cards, but picks up 2s this time in the hijack and Back to his raising ways. 250K is the race. Little over the minimum. As the blinds are 6120. Yan talaga, Jojo Tech, pag na-river, sala na ng dealer. Of course, I'm kidding. The dealer only deals. Sala na ng baraha. Alright, Ron Ryan defended with 10-4 of clubs. And there's an ace showing there. Raymond double checks his deuces. And then proceeds to bet. Not a club in sight for Ron Ryan. Unless he gets real creative, it could be the end of this hand. Actually uses a time bank for this one. All players start with 9 time banks. And some of them are well spent, and some of them not so well spent. Dealer button, king deuce off. And we are gonna be playing blind versus blind. See what Ron Ryan does with king tray off. It's a fold and a walk for Rainier Galvez. From Jojo Tech, binabati si LT. Who's the LT? LT.
Ano? Kasi traffic yun eh. Umamig ka doon. Ilang di ko na.
BJ Paris, Queen Jack, opens UTG +1. By far, he's consistently raised all the connectors, even the Broadway ones, of course. Galvez folds the suited 9-10. And in the big blinds, suited garbage for Marlon Laksamana. Is he gonna defend and try to spike a funky flop? No, he's not. Success for BJ Perez. Man, there's no weak spots at this final table. Especially that the chips are starting to even out. Couple of guys around 4. Nobody in any real danger. Sitting on 15 to 20 bigs. See the clock in the background. If that's the actual tourney clock, then the blinds are going to go up in 3 seconds. 40-minute blind levels. Ginagawa.
Pag-open mo, may 800 ka nito, Jay. Pag-open ito, 800. Yung pag-open mo, yung 800.
All right, so it looks like the clock went crazy, and they're just fixing it, trying to reset it to the proper time. Something about a transformer.
Shab ka rin sa akin eh. Shab ka rin sa akin.
Basta. Nagulo yung clock, so inaayos nila to reset it to where it should be before they resume play. "28 minutes." Is that right? All right, I'll take a break and we'll see them sort this out.
Basta kami na, di ba?
Line 480, 160, 150 Alvin.
Gawin pa, isa pa.
Isa pa lang.
80 po, 150.
Tira rito. Para may tama bola. Ito na talo na lang.
10 seconds.
350.
Raise to 350, C3. 5 phones, 6 phones. 7 phones, 9 phones.
So the blinds have gone up, and that is why BJ is raised to 350, which is a bit above the minimum raise. Can he get action from Raymond in the big blind, who's going to defend? BJ's been very active from every position, but this time he's got a monster hand. Flop is set. It's just a gut shot for Raymond. But for BJ, the challenge is how to keep Raymond in the hand. Raymond's checked here. Well, if BJ's gonna c-bet all his hair, he's gotta c-bet his top set. And hope Raymond makes the call. He does. He's going to peel one. He's got a 4 outer. I wonder if he knows it. Does he think the ace is still alive out? That's the question. Let's see the turn. It's a 10. One more reason for Raymond to get value owned.
Favorite 400.
BJ makes a small enough bet. It's about a third of the pot. About half the pot. It's 400K is the bet. Wow, that's gonna keep Raymond in. Now he's hit the 10. He's still got that gutter ball. And he gives it up. Nice discipline by Raymond. Not digging that hole any deeper than he needed to. Of course, he had to take one off the flop. Second barrel by BJ. Got him off on the turn. Nice pot for the Kings.
Wala, pangit nga ng turn sa akin. Kung lumayo yan, pangatok pangako sa akin.
Nabalta ako mga 250 lang.
Hindi mo siya maniniwala. Sama lang ito.
Kung nag-gadget.
Now Phillips got jacks under the gun. About 45 ways to play this hand, all of them wrong. See what Philip does. Raise to 500. A little on the large end.
Sabi ng mga galing nun.
Almost like a misclick.
One vote.
500 is the raise. Raymond not gonna mess around with ace 10 again. Gonna go all the way around, and that's one way to play jacks. Don't take a flop, just take it down. Shout out to Boss Aldir, Boss Alabi, and one of the OGs of live and online tournament poker, Mr. Ian Brion. One of the original 24 tablers. And a tourney grinder. Welcome to the live stream of the Bluff Masters 1 million guaranteed final table. Started play 5 days ago, 672 entries down to the final 7. Captions are whack. I said 5 days ago. The caption says 25 days ago. There. Actually, action. As we see Edgar fold. Your usual normal distribution of trash hands. As we get to the dealer button where Raymond sees an ace and it's a reason to raise. Philip once again try to go to those instincts. Never mind that he has 5-3. Figure if he could get Raymond off that hand, take the dead money. Blind versus blind. We got 9-7 off for Philip. More importantly, it's blind versus blind. He gives it away and it's a walk for Edgar at the hand. Blinds are 80K, 160K. It's BB ante format here. That's 400K in the middle. As the blinds go up, there is less and less room to breathe for the shorter stacks. Marlin being one of them. I think Rainier Galvez getting down to it. Raymond's picked up pocket tens in the hijack, and he's made it 350 to go. Folded to the small blind of Edgar Asihan. He's got 10-8 of clubs. You gotta worry about the big blind though, so he gets out the way, and it's a suited ace for Ryan Messina. Can defend with this hand and take a flop. So there's the call, and we're gonna see a flop. Pocket tens for the raiser, suited ace for the defender of the big blind. Flop comes. Queen, 5, queen, two-tone. It's a decent flop for both guys. They can both continue on this. There's a check by Ron. Raymond continues. $200K. It's just become a fairly standard continuation size on boards of that kind of texture. Paired boards in the monotones. And so Ron's gonna check again. Raymond's gonna get the showdown with his tens. Oh, he could get called here because Ron Ryan's ace high stands to pick up a lot of pots here. He call a lot of bets here. If Raymond chooses to value bet real thin, he could have gotten ace high to call there. But he opted to just take his tens to showdown. rather than get blown off in the river if you face a check raise. All right, chip denominations. If we get to the flop cam, makikita natin there's actually pretty big numbers on them. But here when you see the colors, the purple ones are 25K, and the darker blue ones are 10K. And that other color, that light one on top with the black sidings, that's 50K. So stack of 25, stack of purple, that should be 500K. So since they all stack in 20s, like the pros that they are, makes their chip stacks easier to read. So 500K a stack of purple to 200K for a stack of blues, and 1 million for a stack of whites.
Raise to 350.
Ako tatanong pa rin.
DJ with a raise and take, making quick work of the dead money in the middle.
Queen Jack. Okay. Queen Jack ah. Makikita mamaya. Baka ayos na yun.
As we get down to less and less players, you're going to see some gear changes. But right now, it's a lot of BJ and Raymond raising and taking down pots. But Philip has shown a real ability to take that money, and he's shown it twice, going over the top with no hand. This time he has a hand. It's Ace King in the hijack.
Kung nagdus yung turn, chicken lang ito.
Raising into the blinds where Ron Ryan Messina's in the blinds along with Rainier Galvez. Offsuit Baby Ace into the muck. 10 deuce. Sorry, Marlon's in the big blind with Ace Queen. Hello. This could be fireworks. But Marlon's been very cautious. Impressive how slowly he's played the hands. Even when he was short stacked, he hasn't just jumped into a pot with everything. So he's facing a race here from Ipe, and it's 350K. Marlon's got 1.8. If he's gonna 3-bet, it's gonna be a third of his stack at least. Well, that was quick. Philip instantly announced all in. The 3-bet was hardly completed. All in, and a call is versus Ace. It's a nightmare for Marlon Laksamana. 30 life on the line with 3 outs. Here comes the flop. That's not one of them, but now there's chopping outs as the board is paired. Any 7 or 10? No. And Ace Queen is not gonna do it. That will be the last hand that Marlon Laksamana plays tonight as he busts out in 7th place. For what I believe is the better part of 60-something thousand. There you go, 66,700 for 7th place finisher Marlon Laksamana. And now we are 6-handed. It's gonna get pretty thrilling. Look at the cast of characters. Lahat ito may galaw. Now that we are 6-handed, there's no room to just pass and fold away, try to ladder up. Players are going to have to start getting more aggressive. And with that hand, Philip has taken back the chip lead as he goes to the 6 million mark.
Daily. Palagi final.
Dati na lahat ng 40K, final table siya, nabasa.
Nahilo sa akin.
Pinagpo-forfeit niya ng mga ace 2, king 3.
500K, hindi na siya naka-forfeit. Hindi naka-out. Oo nga siya naka-out.
Di ba?
Very good, what they say.
Magkano yung pag-jump? Gusto yung pang-jump. Yung pang-ano? Pang-anim. Wala, liit lang. 111 lang pang limit eh.
Pang-anim, 90, 300. Plus 84.
Please don't chop six-handed.
Kano?
1,080.
First place pays out $500,000. Sixth place, not so much. Sixth place is going to get 90,000. Short of 100. Under the gun, Philip with King Jack off. He's gonna open up a bit wider. Not yet. Suited garbage into the muck. And Queen Deuce of Clubs follows suit. It's gonna come down to a battle of the blinds. And Raymond will complete. BJ has a natural.
$300.
800.
He's gonna raise this up. I made a mistake with the denomination of that white chip. Let me double check. I thought it was 50K. All right, pocket threes under the gun for Ed Asihan. It's an open fold for a lot of players in a lot of situations, but we are six-handed. Ed hasn't raised a hand in a while, so why not raise this one? Raise it the minimum to 320. Phillips got a suited king with the big blind. And he's gonna give it up. Nice pickup from under the gun by Ed Asihan. Welcome to the live stream, champ Vince Rochan. And congratulations on your recent successes. Well deserved. You are watching the final table of the BLUFF Masters 1 million guaranteed tournament. 6 players left in this one. Next payout is about 90,000, but the top payout is 500. And all of these guys, these 6 remaining characters, have the ability to take that top spot. It's another walk. Second walk for Ed Asihan. So he got a walk in the last orbit.
Sana mag 250, 500 blinds na. Para bingguan.
Cup na tayo sa 101.
Hmm?
80. Cup na ng 101.
Stop.
Up.
Ano ba? Hindi pwedeng ka. Parang kalat to.
May ganun ba? Wala naman ganun.
Sabi kasi may cup to 102.
Ay, tagal.
Umabot nga ng 125 to 50.
Oo, ano ka ba?
Kasi nung nakaraan, nag-retract.
Ranger with K9.
Ganun ba yun? Sila, hindi, walang ganun.
With a suited connection.
Oo.
I know BJ would raise that. What will Raymond
Umabot
do?
nga kami ng, ano, magkano sa
WWRD raises it from the hijack. 340 is the amount. Two gapper for BJ Perez, suited, but he's not playing it. There's the suited one gapper in the blind, but it's the small blind. Still got to worry about the big blind.
Last 10 seconds. 340.
You can't call with it, but you can race with it. And folding is the option taken there. Ron Ryan has even worse. 8-3 off. No, can't defend. Yep, gives it up, and Raymond takes this down.
May cut na, may ano. Hanggang ano lang kami pala ng 125 ha. 125 to 50.
Nangyari sa GG, stop rin. 1K.
Ano?
GG, 1K.
100 to 100.
100, oo. Wala na, gandun na lang.
Oo, ganun na lang nga. International event kami, ano lang eh. 125 to 50 ata yung habit kami. Pinatira, 125 to 50.
Hindi, 100 to 100 ron.
pa yan eh, kapag ano, 100. Kasi 2, ano eh.
Ang sunod yan, 100 to 100 na.
Oo.
20 million total kick down, di ba?
One of the lowest suited connectors to have ever been created in the hands of BJ Perez.
Raise 300.
He raises it anyway.
Fold 65. Fold 66.
Well, it's in for a surprise as Ron Ryan Messina in the small with a big hand.
Last 10 seconds. Fold 350 po.
Certainly going to be re-raised. Oh, just a call. He's going to try to drag the big blind into his hand. Great odds being given for Rainier Galvez.
All in.
That's the call. I don't know, not much. What? He's pulled the trigger. He's fallen right into the trap set by Ron Ryan Messina, who flattened in the small blind. Created a pot of that money that wow. Rainier Galvez went for it. What's going on here? The hands are not in the middle of the screen, but they are definitely all in. 8-10-10. Rainier Galvez turns into a hero there as he busts Ryan Messina holding pocket kings. What a whirlwind of action there. Ryan Messina set a trap. Rainier Galvez, he stepped right into it. I don't think he has Ryan Messina covered, so he's just gonna pay him off here, just double him up. Wow, the right move at the wrong time pays off for Rainier Galvez as he doubles up by flopping trips there. It was 9-10 suited, shoving into the kings of Ryan Messina.
Teka mo sa flop stick. Paglabas ng turn, hindi ka na makakataya.
You know what? They both played it right. Because a lot of times with that small blind just flats, you kind of think you can take it away and get both players out the pot with a shove.
Kakatok siya 100%.
That's what Rainier Galvez
Patay
is
niya ako.
thinking. But Ron was
Oh.
ahead of him,
Sa turn ngayon ng alas, di na nakakataya.
trapped him there, but he got away. And now he's got 4.8 million, and
pataya
Ron
ako,
Ryan
mga
Messina
5.2
is
million.
the new short stack at the table with 1.1 million. The blinds are 80K 160. Pocket Kings cracked.
Kahit ako naman tol eh.
Back to the action under the gun. BJ Perez races with ducks. Ron's got an ace. BJ's made it 450 just to really leverage the short stack of Ron Ryan Messina. Give him nowhere to go. He's got a folder shove here.
Exhibit na lang.
Or find a better spot. It is big blind ante, but he's gonna shove right now. Try to get back into it. BJ bet, you know, close to half the guy stacked. Figures he's up against a random ace. He should be calling. Think he can do it? Did he do it? Did do it. Folded it. Ron picks up a nice pot.
Balik mo yung
Bounce
40
back
ticket
and
po. Gago pala.
after that debacle with the pocket kings.